We're live.
All right.
Hey now.
How's it going, guys? Jonathan J. Owen from the Party Source YouTube channel with the amazing Josh from Talking Whiskey and the one, the only Mr. PBS of Whiskey World himself, Tony Rangel.
Hey now.
It's not so secret Speakeasy.
You got it.
All right, check out those channels, guys. This is We Talk Whiskey Wednesday live. And so sorry about the hiatus, but hopefully we'll be coming back. We'll see, Christmas months. All right, so what have you guys been up to?
Oh, man, so much.
Work,
yeah.
Big time. Yeah, man, work life has just been crazy. J.O., man, what season are we getting into?
Oh, man. It's going into Christmas, but first we have to go through Thanksgiving and Halloween, which are both incredible drinking holidays.
Big time.
So you supply people like me with the whiskey. I then sell it to people like Josh.
That's right.
We got Rob Aquatics in there. What's up, Rob? Likes your backdrop there.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. And let's see here. Well, I'm going to open up. I found something unique at the Party Source. And so I came prepared for Josh. Are you ready?
Okay.
Ready? Here we go. And 3, 2, 1. It's gone. All right. So I found this at the Party Source. And this. There we go.
All right.
That's awesome.
Let's see here. I don't know. Are we broadcasting? Let's see here.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, no, I didn't know if I think I locked it on one person, so it's not.
It's on Josh.
Okay, I think I did lock it. Let's see. There we go. I think that did it. All right, so I found this one. This is a cask strength wheated whiskey from Dryfly, which I'd rather enjoy their products. This one is 120 proof, and I thought it'd be a fun one to just enjoy.
Nice.
120 proof. Yeah, you better enjoy it quick.
It's also it's bragging of being 3 years old. So, and
Wow.
Dryfly is what I think this is Washington area. I'll find that out.
It's 120 proof, and it's only 3 years old. That is going to be a stout drink right there.
Yeah, that's gonna be a biter. So what you guys drinking?
Well, I
what you got
just
there?
opened my Chattanooga whiskey experimental batch number 10. This is the point. This is the 2 of 3. And
Nice.
this is a Tennessee double barrel. So I'm guessing double barrel probably means like a double mellow type thing.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. And so it's 102 proof. And I guess it's going to be a Tennessee high malt, but just a smooth double barrel.
Nice. So I'm drinking something real special. You see that?
Oh, I see what you got there.
Oh, yeah.
Craft beer pours. How you guys doing? All right.
So Josh sent over this amazing whiskey, and honestly, this is something I've kind of passed around the office a little bit. Talked about it with the guys over the office because I mean it's good. It's Chattanooga whiskey, and it's the experimental number 4, and it is right up my alley. I love it.
It is good. It is good.
Put myself right up there. So let's see here. It does smell. Doesn't smell raw. It smells a little dusty. Like a wheat.
Uh-huh.
How about you? What you got there? How's yours doing, Tony? I hear you.
It's a 102 proof, so it's not quite the 120, but man, you get in the hundreds, and it's a little bit of a burn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
How about you with
I'm
you,
digging it.
Josh?
Well,
How's yours?
let me swirl this around a little bit. It smells like a classic bourbon. I mean, it is 102 proof, so that alcohol a little bit there, but
yeah,
spicy. I say it's going to be spicy,
wow.
and spicy, a little bit of in vanilla. I smell a little bit of vanilla on that one, so I'm excited about it. And this thing about experimental batches, they're so expensive, honestly, that I really don't drink them unless the bottle's given to me. I did drink 1, 2, and 3, but not all of it. I had tasted 1, 2, and 3, and the rest of them, I haven't tasted them except for was it 9 and 4 there at the distillery. But they're so expensive, I mean, they're so rare like that. I really don't drink them. So this will be something new for me right here.
Nice.
That's awesome.
All right, so let's see about this one. 120 proof, dry fly. Sweet, but honestly, you wouldn't know it's 120 on the nose. Oh, that is hot. Hello, Vanessa. How you doing? That is hot, but wow, that is sweet. I wish you could try this.
Wow.
I mean, it's rolling in the caramel and mallow, and that was just the first sip. I feel like this is going to open up, and if I were to put an ice cube in there, it's so warm, it's giving me a belayed Kentucky hug. But man.
Yeah, that's what this one. I definitely got some sweet caramel and vanilla, and a little bit of the burn at the end. But they say it's a high rye bourbon, and I can definitely taste a small hint of rye in the back. But the caramel and the vanilla comes on pretty strong, and it is smooth. The double barrel. I mean I think it does taste like it smoothed it out to me. So I'm very happy with the Chattanooga whiskey.
Now, Chattanooga whiskey, they don't do any type of Lincoln County. It's straight bourbon. Every single bottle they do at their facility, right?
They got 2 whiskeys.
Okay.
I've got them over there. They got 2 whiskeys. I can't remember. I think it's like 7 and 8, something to that effect. But everything else is bourbon.
Mm. Yeah, it is so good. The complexity on this is pretty phenomenal. I know you both watched the review I did, but seriously, I love my bourbon, but Scotch has just got such a big part inside my heart as far as whiskey goes, and it just it blows my mind the tradition that they threw into this. I mean, it's definitely goes back to like our ancestors, and people who were first making whiskey in America, and I dig that more than anything. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Absolutely. I can't get. I have to get used to the peat. That peat is pretty rough for me, but I can get used to it, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Campfire.
There you go.
Yeah, man. You start diving into those peat bombs, and goodness sakes, I know exactly what you mean. I mean, it will bury you if you don't expect it.
Yeah.
They gave me back in the day, as a joke, somebody gave me a Lefroy quarter cask.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man. I took a sip of that, and I was just like, I wrote on my notes, I said, no redeeming quality to mankind in this bottle. Now I find, man, I grab, it's man, you gravitate toward it. You just keep going back. Okay, hey, Bearded Beerman, good evening to you. Thanks for joining us. And I know I shouted out Vanessa Kitty as well. Thank you for joining us. You guys have any questions or any topics you want covered, just leave it in the comments. We're always happy about that. And Tony and Josh, do me a favor. I know you're not really beer guys, but check out Craft Beer Pours. He's in the comments there. Check out his channel. His stuff is really good, super simple. Been a big help for me. But a fun one to check out.
Absolutely. Sure. Definitely. I'll check that out, man.
Bearded is fun. He does video game streams while drinking. And he has a beard. Cool. He has a beard as epic as Amos, but it's bright red.
Yeah.
Hey, Craft Pours, I just subscribed. So you got a new subscriber.
All right. Oh man. I got another one here. I gotta get rid of this one.
Hey, did you like that sound effect that I did on the last video?
What the last video, the sound effect? Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, when I shared the glass in real life.
That was great.
Yeah, man.
That made my day. I love it.
That's awesome.
Hey, how about Tony getting a shout out from the Redneck Riviera there?
Yeah, man.
Man, that was awesome.
Dude, it was so cool.
I was super proud of you, man. Hey, that's awesome. And just his responses. I love this guy.
Oh, dude, it's awesome.
Well,
I'm a big fan, and I like what he's doing. Here's the thing, guys. I'm gonna be real honest with you on this. I think this is a really great whiskey. I like my whiskey like I like espresso. I love a whiskey that has an expression and it's strong and hits you in the face. This is a great mixing whiskey, but I mean, it's also really like tame. My wife loves it. She can't. I mean, we've gone through half the bottle, and it's really been her. So.
Yeah, that's what I say too.
For sure. It's light and mellow, and it's definitely more of a mixer or pour over glass, or a little in Coke, type of thing.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So I'll have to give it a try. And yeah, you're right. I'm the reason I like a whiskey a little bit more than a bourbon is because I can. There's just so much more that a whiskey can do, and even if I don't like the whiskey, if I'm not going to buy it, I can still respect it and pick it over something else if it has a defining taste, a defining character. Yeah. Like if that cherry pops or if the vanilla hits, if it hits on a high note, that's what I like. Other than just the same old, yeah. I do like, even if I don't like it, like I said, I appreciate those that have a defining flavor and defining tone to them.
Definitely. Well, and then the history behind it, I really like when folks try to make it American made. I mean, not to say, all bourbon's American made, don't get me wrong, but I just love when someone has a story they put behind it, as far as like supporting troops and all that. That's cool.
Yep, absolutely, man. Absolutely, and I've got to get back Wild Turkey. I really want to bring Wild Turkey back on the show and give them some respect and some props because they do a lot of good. It's a company like Jim Beam. I mean, everybody knows it. And
no nonsense whiskey there.
Yeah. Absolutely, you got it. It's just like a good American company, and what I really like about like what Wild Turkey does, it's all in the family. I mean, you have generations of people. Who's the gentleman's name that's really like the
Eddie or Jimmy?
Yes, he's like the figurehead. He's been doing it forever. I dig that.
Sup, Backwoods Billy? How you doing? Thanks for joining us. Sorry, guys.
Hey,
shout outs. When we went down to Wild Turkey to pick a barrel, one of my best memories was Jimmy Russell, his son Eddie, came out and he goes to his truck. He opens up the back door of his truck and he starts pulling out bags of dog food from his back of his truck so we can get into it, because where he takes all his bird dogs hunting. And he's like, he then drives us to his favorite warehouse. We're on top of the hill and we walk into that rick house and just the smell is heavenly with the Kentucky hills. We're looking out over this great valley with these hiking trails. And he reaches over and he grabs a barrel from next to the wall to give it a quick rock. And when he does, the cobwebs tear. And
that's cool.
And this cloud of dust just comes up in the golden light of the coming in through the windows. And it was just like, the whiskey never tasted better in my life.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was gorgeous.
That's awesome.
And again, I'm gonna say this. If you guys have a chance to pick this up, especially you, Josh, you'll like that one. This is a flavor bomb, 120, sweet. It keeps changing. I think an ice cube will really open it up, but it is just as hot as can be. It's really good, though.
Excellent. I'll definitely have to try it out, man. Definitely. Yeah, it does sound good. I like Tony. I like those weeded bourbons. I like totally. They're easy to drink. They're just very easy to drink, and they do have complexity that I appreciate.
So, I had a little fun a couple weeks ago. I was at a bar. 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 I was at a I decided I would blend my own batch.
Did you do an infinity bottle?
I did, man, but I did it with only bourbon, no scotch. I was
No.
like, get that scotch away. This is American made. Yeah, man. I was like, I've never really heard of it. I'm sure somebody's done it, but never really heard of a bourbon infinity bottle. So I was like, I've got to do it. I probably should have made a video or something of it, but it was just kind of like experimenting, playing around with it. Awesome.
Oh,
Yeah, man. I mixed a lot of, really good whiskeys that I like. I just have complexity. Um, I put an honorary shot of the Chattanooga Experimental in there.
Oh, nice.
Give it a little 10. What is it? About 10 years? They say at average after it's in that Solera.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah. The reserve, the
yeah.
1816 reserve, is in that Solera barrel. Then it can have a 10-year. I think there were a few 10-year-old barrels in there, and so it kind of mixes in. It's no less than 2, of course, and then it can be up to 10. Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Definitely.
Oh man, I took a Benadryl before I came in, so I may not be.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see here. Let's get on this real quick. Let's say I have this tradition every Halloween. My son, who is 9, next door to us, their granddaughter comes over to trick or treat in our neighborhood. She is about 10. And so they go trick-or-treating, and I go hang out with my next-door neighbors, and I supply normally a bourbon. Last year, it was Hibiki 12.
Ooh,
It's
wow.
not a bourbon.
Not a bourbon.
Year before that, only because it was like a 6-year-old bottle, and I had like that much left, I went over with some George T. Stagg, which that's the only bottle of George T. Stagg I have ever owned. And I bought it the year I started working here, and I've not been able to buy one since.
Wow.
So this year, it's not going to be anything that elaborate, but what is your Halloween? What whiskey, what bourbon, what scotch would you drink on a Halloween hanging with your friends?
It's a good question.
I'm probably going to go with Jack Daniels. I'll probably go with Jack Daniels single barrel. The neighborhood we live in, it is packed with kids. I mean, you can't go anywhere on Halloween from like 6 to, I think, when it starts getting dark to about 9 o'clock at night. You just don't go anywhere. And they got tractor rides, hay rides. I mean, there's cars, trucks, buses, and on the weekends it's just nuts. So I'll sit on the porch with 2 big garbage bags of candy, handing out, because I love kids. I'll hand out candy all night long, talking to the kids, drinking some bourbon. Probably not a very good idea, but I have a blast doing it. I like to make a show out of it, but again, probably not a very good idea.
Well, the nice thing with Jack is it's an everyman's drink. Yeah. It's a pleaser. You can't get away from that, and it's just it's simple, but like solid. It's like a good friend you always go back to. I love that.
Yeah. I keep going back to Jack. I mean, I try to get away from Jack and try to find some hipster, bourbon. But I mean, I keep going back to good old Jack Daniels whiskey, man.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just, like you said, it's a classic baseline for a reason.
Yeah.
And they're higher end stuff. They're single barrels. They're experimentals they got now coming out, and then the number 27, all that stuff. When they want to make a really, really good, phenomenal whiskey, they really, really can.
Mm-hmm.
It is their higher end stuff
Totally.
is really good.
Man. All right, so real quick, Backwoods Billy just said, I posted a few videos of Yingling Oktoberfest beer with a gourmet popcorn Fisher's popcorn. I challenge you guys to do a popcorn and fall beer pairing. And then he says Seagram's whiskey or possibly Dewar's Scotch, Jim Beam, Black Label, maybe Crown Royal Vanilla. And cheers, Turtle Man. Thanks for joining us. So that was a bunch of information real quick, guys. And so I know you guys don't do beer, but maybe you could branch out to a challenge of doing a fall popcorn and whiskey pairing.
Oh, that would be awesome. You know, I'm a huge Heffenweiser fan. Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
I'm just, oh, I love Heffenweiser. I
Do you have
just
a
can't get
favorite?
enough of it. Um, I like them all. Like, I seriously, I'll take any Heffenweiser. And I think it kind of goes back to why I like wheated bourbon so much. It just reminds me, you know, um, Josh, in that video you did with Chattanooga, what's the gentleman's name who's the
Tim.
owner?
Tim's the
Tim.
owner.
Okay. He said something that was really good. He said that all whiskey starts with good beer.
Mhm.
And I mean, that's kind of the truth. I mean, that's a really good statement. I mean, it's because we kind of forget about that. But if we didn't have beer, we wouldn't have whiskey.
Yeah.
So,
What do they call it when they're making it? It's called brewer's beer, distillery
Yeah.
beer.
Yeah,
Mhm.
brewed beer.
Yeah, they start out
Yeah.
with that, and then it becomes whiskey.
That
Yeah.
was pretty cool. We were able to dip our fingers. We could probably dip our hands if we wanted to inside that big vat. And he
Oh.
said, "Hey, have a drink." So
Wow.
there was like those three vats, and the one that I actually recorded with the GoPro that was the most active, so I could get better video. But there was one that wasn't hardly active, and there's one that was like Goldilocks, and there was one at the very end that was just popping. So we were able to dip our hands in there and take a big old swig if we wanted to. But
Yeah.
it was pretty cool, man.
That's
That was
awesome.
a really great experience, and we're trying to get with J.W. Kelly. They
Oh, yeah?
outsourced to Indiana, but
Really, we just got them at the Party Source.
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah,
we're trying
and
to
you know that rye?
get,
That rye is made at New Riff
okay
in our front yard of the Party Source.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. That's crazy. In your front yard?
Yeah.
Wow.
If you look at the map, the Party Source is actually a campus because we have a distillery we share a parking lot with, and then we have a brewery in the back.
That's
The
awesome.
store itself is 107,000 square feet, and no, we're not big business. We are 100% employee owned.
Yep.
So you
That's
go in there,
awesome.
the guy pushing the cards is an owner. The guy
That's so-
signing our paychecks is an owner.
That's
Wow.
It looks like it's one of those big box stores, but it's not. You are
Right.
literally shopping local.
That's so cool.
That is great. Yeah, man. Yeah, we're trying to get with J.W. Kelly, and hopefully we can do the same thing we do with Chattanooga, because they're right down the street from Chattanooga whiskey.
I really want to see that if you do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're trying. I'm trying, and then we're supposed to on the 10th. We're supposed to go to Uncle Nearest, but
Oh, dude.
Weaver, she's so busy. I mean, she's going to South Africa.
Wow.
Today we were supposed to film. She was going to South Africa, so
Wow.
we rescheduled
She's
the
one that wrote the
10th.
book.
And she's just so busy, man. She's like a superstar. I can't. I want to be respectful to her and her schedule and her family time. So hopefully we can do that on the 10th of next month and go down there, and we're going to get a tour of the farm, I guess where Uncle Nearest live, where Nathaniel Green live, and then we're going to get a tour of the distillery that they're building, and kind of have a little interview with her. And I got some ideas. Hopefully they'll pan out and make a pretty good episode out of that, man. So looking forward to that. Do you guys got anything special coming up on your shows? What's next? What's next?
Yeah, that's a good question. I tell you what, I do my question. I do my show by the seat of my pants. It's kind of like where I'm at, what I'm doing. It's been, we'll see. It's kind of like whatever the month is.
I have some stuff right now going into the dead months at work. It is going to be I'm not doing much filming. I have had 1 week in the past. Out of the past, I want to say 8 weeks. I've had 1 week to work in Studio 1A, do any filming and editing. And other than that, because it's just so busy right now, I have nothing really planned other than the stuff that's already filmed. However, at the beginning of the year, I have been reaching out to some local brewers and not so local brewers, such as somebody who makes a very famous Christmas ale that lives around the Great Lake area, who might bring a brewer in to do a Google Hangout with us on live stream.
That'd be awesome.
That would be. I don't want to say anything yet other than what I've already said.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we got some cool stuff coming, and I really want to also branch out and make this more of a cool hub for more and more guys like you. We do you and I's, you two and I, we all hang out more and more. I've reached out to some other YouTubers as well who do whiskey to join us. And
what's going on with Antonio?
To do beer.
Yeah, Antonio would be cool.
Yeah,
Antonio.
Tony and Josh. I mean, and you know, Josh, you got to bring your little hairy buddy.
Oh, well, he's at home. He's off this week.
Dude, okay, be honest with me. Is Colton hiding somewhere? Is he hiding out?
I keep him behind the curtain. I just roll him out like Hannibal Lecter when it's time to
You like only release him with whiskey.
Yeah. It helps when whiskey's around.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Colton makes the funniest faces, man. His faces are priceless. Like,
oh, yeah.
When y'all were doing that video, I just was cracking up so much. He's a funny guy.
Yeah. Well, this week's video, he's pretty funny too. We did 2 videos at his house last week or week before last, something like that. And yeah, man, this one's a lot better than the one we just put out. The one I just put out, I don't care much for it, but you know, 90% of the videos I make, I don't like. So that can't be a good judge of.
No, you know, sometimes I tell my wife, I'm like, I'll shoot a video, and then I'm like, that just really stunk. And then I put it together, and I'm like, hey, that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
What we think in our
This is
head
what a
is so
little
different.
editing can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
There was
just
one video, only one video that we scrapped completely.
Wow.
And it was Crown Royal Salted Caramel, the original release. And Marty despised it.
Oh.
No.
Tore it apart one side and down the other. And I was just like, Marty, you know, and he's like, oh, they can take it. And he started, and you know, he made some really valid points, but he was just so hard on it, comfortable putting it out.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, because I mean, you never know. You never know who's gonna watch, and
yeah.
You never, like, I don't think I'm gonna make any friends from Old Smoky.
I have made some really good friends with them. I'm sorry. Fortunately, I like those guys down there.
Yeah, they're probably great. The ones I met, you know, they one wasn't a big fan. Let's put it that way.
No.
You know, so I'm thinking about taking that video down because you know I don't get monetized for that one anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, you're right though. I've learned that you know even if you don't like the whiskey, you really need to find something good to say because you never know who's watching and you know, a lot of these places, a lot of these companies, they do put a lot of love and hard work into their product. Even Lusty Claw, which tastes like you know someone's baby bird and cow piss in your mouth. Even that, you know, somebody somewhere likes it. I don't know why.
Well, you know, it's hard, man. You know, I kind of have a rule. My wife was watching some of my videos the other day, and she's like, honey, you don't really talk about stuff you just hate. And I know you hate some stuff. And I'm like, well, here's the deal. I'd like to be a positive person. And what I don't want to do is I want to talk about things I like. And I think people want to know what you like. And there's some whiskeys I've got because they're cheap. I could think of like the Shield Egg I got. I was going to ask you, J.O., do you all have access to Shield Egg, or is that like a exclusive?
I'm not even familiar with that one. Shield Egg?
Yeah, Shield Egg. It's a Scotch. It's a budget. It's actually owned by Ian McLeod. Out here, it's a Total Wine exclusive. But you know, it's kind of one of those things. It's good, but it's like not crazy good. But I mean, it's really good. It's $15. It's a single malt Scotch for $15.
That actually sounds familiar, but
I have a bottle of it.
I can't really say. It sounds familiar, but I'm pretty sure we don't. Like, we had a Shellback rum, which is probably could be what I'm confusing it with. And we have a couple of really good scotches, one for $18 called Old Tolimet. in which Marty and I did a review on that, and that is just a lovely, lovely bottle. Is that it in your hand right there?
Tomatin? Is it Tomatin?
Tomatin. I love Tomatin.
Oh man, I got this for $18. I was so happy with it. Awesome, awesome bottle of whiskey.
Now let's talk Scotch for just a moment. Okay, sorry.
Highland? You guys talk Scotch.
Okay, Highland, Lowland, Spey, or Isla?
Isla for me personally.
Isla, okay. For me, a Spey side. Reason why? Good. That's like Florida summers, Gulf Coast summers. I'm a Gulf Coast boy. Floral. And especially you start digging in the 22-year-old and up, they taste like a piece of old driftwood.
Totally.
Okay.
Okay, this is the first time ever for me. Scotch in a solo cup.
Oh.
There's part of me inside that's like screaming, and I'm trying not to show that on camera. There's part of me that's like, no, don't do it. But I'm gonna do it, man.
You can do it. You can. Oh yeah, I don't. Honestly, I don't suggest it.
Woo, man, that's a burn.
I say it burns pretty hard.
Oh man, that was woo. It's a Tomatin. You know what? This is kind of. Here's the deal. The reason why Scotch has such a soft spot in my heart is that Scotch is finished often in this beautiful thing called a bourbon, an ex-bourbon Virginia oak cap. You know, it's funny to me how the Scottish helped kickstart American bourbon, and how Americans have helped make Scotch. Right there, bourbon.
Okay.
I love that. It's full circle.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool, man.
All right. So Backwoods Billy is lighting up our comments here, talking about some beers that he's been brewing.
Ooh.
And so he said that he's working on a Christmas beer right now, and he's thinking about a plum brown sugar cinnamon, and he's playing with ideas on hops with a little pine resin note. Honestly, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I think it sounds great.
Oh, we just got Keep Fishing Jamaica in. Hey, bud, how's it going? If you guys are anything in the fish tanks, check out his channel. That is an awesome channel. And I didn't give Backwoods craft beer reviews a shout out there. Check out his channel too, guys. It's a simple channel. The guy has a blast doing it. You can tell, and it's just reviewing. I mean, literally in the backwoods, and sometimes he'll stop in for food and other things.
Nice.
All right, and so it's I don't do that enough. I would love to do that, of just drop a quick live of like when I stop out somewhere, and just do like oh look, I'm having a pizza and a beer at this place. I would love to do that, but since I'm related with the Party Source, it's kind of one of those things, unfortunately. Yeah, they're like, be careful who you endorse. You know.
Oh yeah. I have to, every time I take my camera somewhere, I have to like, I ask everybody before I can.
Oh, me too.
Before I film them, I ask. I always ask. You know, that way it gives me the opportunity to hand out a business card to them too. You know, maybe they'll get involved and watch it. But you know, be careful who you film and who you endorse. Some people turn into Marilyn Monroe and have to talk to their agent before they do anything.
Yeah, that's the thing is being a scoutmaster, I cannot post anything with my kids unless I have the parents' permission first.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And real quick, Fishing Jamaica has asked, where are we from?
Well, yeah, nice.
And so I am from Cincinnati, and which is where I'm broadcasting out of Cincinnati area. And Party Source, which is literally on the border of Cincinnati, which Cincinnati is in Ohio, but the Party Source is in Kentucky. So literally I can look out the front door of the Party Source and see Cincinnati, Ohio.
Wow.
Okay. Where are you guys from?
I am in southeast Cleveland, Tennessee, the foothills of the beautiful Appalachian Mountains off the banks of the world famous Ocoee River. I'm east of Chattanooga. And so yeah, Tennessee. I'm in Tennessee.
Hey man, you know you're in God's country over there. Tennessee is such a beautiful state.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
yeah, I agree,
Yeah,
man.
I'm. It's funny because I've been here 10 years. I'm from Florida, so Central Florida. We are Disney located. We are right in the middle between Tampa and Orlando. Um, but I am a California native. So it's funny to me because people are like, I say y'all and all that stuff a lot because we've lived here for so long. But I grew up on a farm in California, so Southern culture is just as weird as it sounds. It's like kind of just in my heart and soul anyway. So we're kind of like Southern transplants.
Absolutely. Well, you're
Yeah.
you're welcome. Definitely, you're definitely welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're not the average Californians.
Right. Well, that's all right. Yeah. I've always heard California's real rural.
Yeah,
Once
it
you
is.
get past the city centers, I heard that it goes country pretty quick.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's pretty cool, man. Yeah, I used to Jo when the Bengals when I lived there in Fort Thomas. If the Bengals ever won, you could hear the firecrackers, the fireworks from the stadium.
That's
You can hear them from my house whenever the Reds hit. I mean, the Reds hit a home run or they win, or which more often than not, they're just doing they do Firework Tuesday or something like that.
Yeah. Well, they lost my favorite quarterback.
Yeah. Carson.
No, McCarron, AJ.
Okay.
Alabama graduate, so you know.
Oh, gotcha.
Well, that was the weirdest thing when I moved to the South is I didn't realize what a college football driven communities out here. And man, here in Florida we have transplants from all over.
Yep.
So every day I hear this team, that team, and I'm just like, because we're in California, it's just like UCLA and some of the big stuff. But it's not the same. Football is not the same. It's sad. It is sad.
We always have our Thanksgiving in the Iron Bowl. The weekend after
Cool.
Thanksgiving is the last weekend of November is the Iron. It's when Alabama and Auburn play. So growing up, that was religion.
I
in
bet.
an Alabama game, you either went outside to play or you sit there and man was quiet. There was no third option. When I was born, I got a little Alabama football.
Wow.
That it's just like you said, it's just part of the culture. It's part of part of the family.
Definitely.
Okay, if I understand this question correctly, Fishing Jamaica is asking us, what's the difference between white and blue Hennessy? Now, if I'm understanding correctly, white Hennessy is just a straight, unaged cognac. And if I remember right, the blue label is the VSOP. If not, I'm thinking of
You're correct.
thinking of another label.
Yeah.
So many good ones out there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it comes down to age versus less aged. I mean, all cognac is aged.
Yeah.
I think it's like regular cognac that's just, I don't want to say the cheap stuff, but they're going to be what you consider mid-tier. I think it's only about 4 to 5 years, but the really good stuff is above that for sure. I mean, it takes a long time. I love Hennessy. I'm a big brandy or Hennessy fan. I'm sorry, cognac fan.
I'm a big cognac. I love a Boss Armagnac.
Amazing.
You start diving into some of those. You start really getting into the regions, such as the whole brandy thing. You have the Armagnac, the Boss Armagnac, the Haut Armagnac. Then you get into the cognac. And then you have all the rules and regulations. Think of it like whiskey, but everything else is just falling under those. No, it doesn't necessarily have to do with the percentage of the alcohol Fishing with Jamaica. It is just the white Hennessy is a clear, unaged brandy. So basically, you're drinking brandy moonshine.
Yep.
When you start getting into the aging, such as VS, that stands for very special. They recently just changed the rules. And so, Tony, maybe you could help me out on this. Brandon, maybe you as well. Brandon, I'm sorry. Josh, I'm doing it. It used to be VS, used to be 2 years. Now I believe it is 4 to 6. and the VSOP, I want to say, is 6 to 8. Then you have the XO, which is all about the aging stage. And so it's not necessarily percentage. Each one of those represents an age, but the ages go VS, VSOP, XO, and then between the XO and the VSOP, you have ones like Napoleon and so forth. And so those guys are, I do not have my cognac book with me, so all this is coming from memory. And so I'm sorry for anybody out there that I'm getting this wrong. They also recently changed the rules.
Cognac is a very weird thing in the sense that it's so regulated, and there's so many different versions of it. You know, I've got to confess, you know, wine is not my strong suit, but it's cool because, I mean, cognac and brandy is that perfect marriage of wine into a spirit. It's amazing. I love that. I mean, I love it so much.
Now you can also start looking at the Flot de Gascons.
Yes.
In which, oh God, I love those. And Tony, you know what those are? Josh, Flot de Gascons are a brandy that they are, as during the fermentation process of a wine, they pour a brandy into it to kill the active yeast, jumping the residual sugars up, the sweetness and the ABV. And so you're drinking a higher ABV wine that is classified as a brandy cognac hybrid. And they're super sweet. My wife loves them, and they're nice. And guys, this is kicking my butt.
Yeah, it's 120 proof. Yeah.
Oh, come on, yeah.
Yeah. I like it, it's flavored. Normally I have no problem getting them back, but this is a fire water. It's good.
Oh yeah. So we did one with it was a Knob Creek 120 proof, and it was a butt kicker. It didn't hit until the cameras turned off and I stood up, and then it was like boom, it hit hard. I won't be drinking that again. Yeah, man.
Oh man. Okay, so we did kind of got off whiskey on the brandies there, which I could run to my liquor cabinet and show off some cognac and brandy. Which now, okay, real quick on this one. A lot of my old school bourbon drinkers that come into the party source, the ones that were coming in, they were drinking the Blantons, they were drinking the Elijah Craig when it was still labeled as a 12. They were drinking all the stuff that everybody is chasing now that they can't get before it was popular. And as an adult, they can't get what they want, so they have moved on. What have they moved to? To aged rums.
Yeah. I can see that.
So, kind of my opinion on that. What the point is what are your thoughts, guys?
Yeah, Josh. How about that Rio McCoy y'all did?
You know what? I could have blind taste tested that, and you could tell me it was a bourbon, and I would have known. I probably wouldn't have picked it out. You know, it might have a little. To me, an aged rum has a little bit more fruit, maybe a little more fruity. Mm-hmm. But I mean, honestly, it's still got the burn. It's still got the barrel taste. You know, you're gonna have your chars, you're gonna have your vanillas and your caramels. You know, I mean, yeah, I think aged rum is great. I really like. There's something that I really like. I mean, yeah, I don't know if Kraken is it aged because I've had Kraken before, and I really enjoy the Kraken. And then the real McCoy, the aged rum, that was really good. And then the Bacardi 9 years that we did.
Oh, Bacardi 9 was good.
Oh, yeah, really good, fantastic, really good, and affordable. I mean, really not that expensive if you think about it.
And you were talking about blind flights. We have a bottle. I love pulling it out. I hide the label. I pour it for people who've come in and had about 3 tastes of bourbon. I pour that. And I said, "Why don't you try this one?" This is an 8-year-old, and it is made by an old Kentuckian. After they taste it, they start enjoying it, telling me how good it is. I then show them this is an 8-year-old made by a Kentuckian who moved to Florida to go to Panama to make a rum to treat it exactly like a bourbon. And it's Grander rum, guys.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Have to try.
It is a true 8-year-old. He's using all the rules and regulation that should be a bourbon other than like the mash bill. But he's treating it's a rum. He's treating it like a bourbon.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Rum is really big. I mean, for me here in Florida, rum is like a spiritual experience. I mean, it's really something that comes from Florida. You know, and with real McCoy, I mean, you talk about actual, you know, McCoy. I mean, he was. I mean, all that was going on in Florida. I mean, yes, he did travel up to New York and work with Al Capone and all that, but I mean, he was based here in Florida. So I mean, a lot of our history, as far as being, you know, Rum Row, was here. I mean, it's cool. One of my things I really want to do, you went kind of going back to that question about what we're going to do. I'd really like to go down to Tampa to some of the historical spots and talk about, you know, the rum history. And I love to go to South Florida. Al Capone's house is down in South Florida. So, I mean, that's something we're planning at some point in the future.
Well, it's funny, you know, rum, what's that old saying that, you know, during the Revolutionary War, the guys got paid, and one of their payments was how much rum? I can't remember how much rum a day.
Yeah.
And when they were about to revolt because, you know, it was cold, they didn't have any, you know, they weren't provisioned right. I think Washington was going to take away their rum rations, and they went ate crap. You know, they went.
Yeah.
No
I appreciate that.
during the winter. That's fine. No food during the winter. That's fine. But you take away their rum, that's it. They're done.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you guys know about how we have like these rums in which are like there's a true age dated of like 8 years, and then there is the 8 years. And so, like, you'll see a rum that says 24.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's saying it's 24 years old. And for those who don't know how that works, you have your true age stated, which is like, let's say, Grander Rum. It states that it is a true 8-year-old. 100% of that is 8 years old. So let's talk whiskey for just a moment. Let's say we take 20 barrels of 20-year-old bourbon. We take 1 teaspoon of 5-year-old bourbon. We put that in there. Instantly, every bit of that 20-year-old bourbon has to be labeled as 5 years old.
Okay.
Rum is the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
You can take 1 teaspoon of 20-year-old in there, and it becomes 20-year-old rum. The rules are much more lax.
Does rum have a certain age that it has to be? Like bourbon's got to be it's got to be at least 2 years old. Does rum have to be a certain age to be called rum?
Not that I have ever heard of. I was informed by an actual rum distiller that they will go as far as putting things like vanilla, butterscotch, or even just sugar extracts in there. And it's not messing with the age statement.
Okay. So you can have, like, theoretically, you can have like a 1-month-old rum and have a barrel of 20-year-old rum, and you just put a little bit of that 20-year-old in that 1-month-old, and you can call that 1-month-old 20-year-old.
Yeah, if you put some in there, yes. You're meeting like the proper measurements of requirement.
Okay,
it's gotcha. Like kind of like, let's say here, Johnny Walker Blue boasts of having 51-year-old Scotch in it, and they have that gigantic vat in where all their Scotch, their blended Scotch, is being blended, and they will take a teaspoon of that 51-year-old whiskey and they will just pour that into that gigantic vat. And that vat, so they can say, oh, there's 51-year-old whiskey in this.
Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible. I'm not a Johnny Walker fan. I tasted Johnny Walker for the first time, and I thought, you know, what is the big deal? Why do people talk about Johnny Walker like it's awesome? I thought it was horrible. But...
Yeah, Johnny Walker is fun, but I just kind of, I think, why? And so real quick, Alpine Gulch has joined the stream. Thanks for tuning in. He's saying he's learning a lot from just listening. And Flacco Beer Reviews. That guy's freaking awesome. He's a Texan.
Nice, Flacco.
Beer, pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been checking out Flacco's channel. I love Texas. I have tons of family from Texas. So that's all. I'm all about that. Sorry I had to move around the camera. I mean, my liquor cabinet is like right in front of my camera. So I actually got this. And here's the deal. Bacardi, you're talking about one of the most recognizable brand names in the world.
Yeah.
What they do, I mean, everything. But, I mean, if you look at it, that's a non-aged rum. I mean, that's basically like the equivalent of I hate to say this, but a proof down moonshine.
Yep.
Yep.
It's good.
What's the difference between a gold rum and a white rum?
Age in the barrel. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you're talking about oak, and a lot of rums are going to kind of that rum, excuse me, that whiskey barreling. I mean, that's the big difference. It's age, it's time, you know.
Yep. It's probably easier
So I mean,
to sell
it's something to
too.
think about. Not all rum's the same.
Yeah. Yeah, well, right now, what was it? Craft beer 10, 15 years ago was big. Now, craft whiskey and craft bourbons are getting. I mean, it's a new market, I guess. So it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I don't think we're anytime soon. I know we talked about the whiskey bubble last time, but we don't see that popping anytime. I see alcohol in general for America moving to become more socially acceptable.
100%.
Right.
And my ultimate dream is I would love to be able, like when I was in Europe, to walk into a McDonald's, buy a Big Mac, and buy a beer at the same time.
Yeah.
However, my fear of that is walking in the McDonald's, being able to buy a beer from their McBrewery.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Get you a leg royale with cheese and a big beer, a large beer. That sounds great, man.
Oh man,
my McRib.
I taught English for about 6 weeks. Oh man, I taught English for about 6 weeks in Europe about 10 years ago. And when I was out there, they had a rule that their McDonald's could only be locally sourced. So I'm telling y'all, that was like one of the best McDonald's I've ever had. I mean, we had that rule with our whiskeys, truth be told, a lot of whiskey manufacturers, they take a lot of pride in that. But in our beers and alcohol, we had that like, this has got to be local. Quality might go up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yep.
You're like a lot of whiskey manufacturers say they are locally sourced. Well, a lot of them are on that same creek, right? A lot of them are right there in Kentucky on the same river. Yeah,
well, I don't hate on NGP or getting that. Like, I don't hate on that in any way, shape, or form. But it really says something when a company is developed. It takes time to develop that, but they develop that local brewery. They have a brewmaster. And they've got to start somewhere. So, I mean, you have to, that's a good place to start. But once you've got to graduate, so to speak.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere. Right? You got to start making that profit. But you're right. Like when you do go from outsourcing to Indiana to in-house, I mean, that's a big, scary step. And if you don't love your craft, if you don't love what you're doing, you're not going to put that time and money into it. And so I think that's what we taste. I think we taste the love of the art of making the whiskey, and so I think that's the big difference in my opinion. In my opinion on like you said, the local stuff. Even if you don't like what you're tasting, but you can really appreciate the effort and the time and the creativity of the taste.
Absolutely.
Jamaica, thank you for stopping in. We do appreciate it. He's got to leave us. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it, buddy. All right, so okay, let's see here. Anything you think you guys comes to mind that you guys want to talk about? We've been going for about an hour, so if we want to wrap this up, we certainly can.
Okay. I took a Benadryl, so I'm almost asleep.
Okay. Sorry, man. So being next week Halloween, you want to forego next week and try 2 weeks from now? If our schedules permit us?
Sure.
Yeah, I've got to work a shutdown next week, so I'll be working 15s from Monday to Friday. Okay. I'll be wiring things up for 15 hours.
Oh, man.
So wow. I'll be pretty tired. I'll be in a steel mill all week next week.
Oh.
Okay, that's cool. I gotta take my kid trick or treating on that one. He has his Minecraft costume.
Oh,
nice.
Awesome.
Good. Nice.
Yeah, he's big into Minecraft right now.
I think it's funny. I mean, I've got a 10-year-old, and I think what cracks me up about Minecraft, I was telling my son the other day, I'm like, man, I literally fought and wanted better graphics, and y'all just want blocks. What's up with that?
Depressing. Yeah, no kidding. We went to a Minecraft phase at our house, and
Yep,
everything was
that
Minecraft.
was it.
Now it's Fortnite.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. The biggest thing that I've been kind of wondering lately is as far as how is whiskey going to be changed by other like alcohols and influences? Because I mean, there's a lot of really cool, like, I mean, tequila's really been making a big name for itself. I really wonder how the industry, where it's going to go in the future. I like where it's at right now, and I think we're in a boom. And
Oh, yeah.
you asked that question before. When do you think the whiskey boom is going to end? I don't think it is, but I really wonder where it's going to go. I mean, that's the big thing I want to know.
Dude, we are seeing these distilleries that started now starting to sell 3 to 4 year old whiskey.
Yeah.
We are going to see so much cool artisan stuff. And people, I think we're going to see like the Anheuser-Busch thing where it just started reaching out and grabbing all the local breweries that they could. I kind of expect something like that. Yep. Oh, you guys are doing good. Come in under the Beam label. Come in under Suntory.
Yep.
I kind of half expected something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't, maybe give it 2 more years, I think, before that starts happening.
Yep.
I think we'll see a whole lot more blended. I think blended is going to take a whole lot of shelf space. And because of it seems like the economic model of it is you can make so much more money. You can make, even if you got a bad product, you can make money faster. So I think we'll see a lot more blended.
Tend to be pleasing everybody. I mean, that's kind of the thing about blended. I mean, they really they have a broad spectrum.
Yeah, and you know what? I tasted that TX. I mean, that TX is overwhelmingly vanilla, but I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Awesome.
And it, it's fine with me. I'm looking forward to seeing what we can find in the future.
Totally.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. And I see we're kind of slipping off topic here about so let's go ahead. What do you think we go ahead and say our goodnights before poor Josh falls over?
Yeah.
We'll try to meet 2 weeks from now if possible.
Sure. Try that.
2 weeks from now. And anybody want to throw out what we should talk about in 2 weeks? It can be somebody in chat or it can be one of you guys.
Yeah. What does chat think?
Let's see if anybody comes in. I know there are 5 in chat right now. I don't know if they're paying attention, but yeah, this is all right. So if not, we can just come back in and we will think of just see where it rolls like we did this week.
Absolutely.
Open up with what we're drinking and answer a few questions.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right. I think I'm gonna try some tequila.
You want to try?
Yeah, man.
All right,
dude. I love my tequila.
I do too.
So good, man. I had a really good friend of mine reach out to me, and he was like, you got to be careful with tequila.
They don't know what we should talk about, so we'll just kind of make it dealer's choice.
Yeah.
So we can roll into some tequilas, and we can roll into we'll just see where it goes from there, because all this, it goes back to whiskey. Tequila 100%. Ages in bourbon barrels.
Yep.
Yeah, or we talked about a bunch of rum, so we can bring some rum next time.
Yeah, man. I love my rum.
Yeah.
Yep. And Flacco's saying, let's just meet in 2 weeks and drink a bunch of it.
Yeah, it sounds good to me, my friend.
There you go.
All right. And so with that, guys, we will see you in 2 weeks. I'm going to sign us off. Take care, folks.
Guys.
If you haven't subscribed to these guys, check them out. We got Not So Secret Speakeasy, and we've got Talking Whiskey, and we've got The Party Source. Hit the like button. Stuff like this happens. Any fun stuff you think you want to see us talk about, it can be done. Cheers, folks. We will see you.
Thanks so much.
In 2 weeks.
Guys.